Do you see in there some red tomatoes?
Yeah. Easy. Got that one?
Nice.
You want me to try to get that other one right there? Got it.
Nice.
What's basil?
These leaves. See? Can you go put those in the basket?
What? I see you, Mama. See you. Poison ivy. But with strawberries. Can I help you pick those?
Sure.
Can I help you pick those?
You be my helper and hold them. Do you want to put them in here?
Mom, it's so much. We'll just put them in. Yeah. Broke one, but.
Here, no, that one can stay. Let's just get the big fat ones.
Yeah. But let's not get the little ones. Let's just get the big fat ones.
That works.
This is so big. It's so big full.
So Swiss chard is something that we get in abundance and we don't eat a whole ton of at a time. So we can preserve it with a dehydrator, and all I had to do was obviously harvest it. I washed it and I cut it into like 3 to 4 inch slices, and I'm blanching it for about 30 seconds to 1 minute, putting it in a cold water bath or ice bath. I don't have ice. And then I'll dry it up really well and put it in the dehydrator, and that'll stay for about, I usually do 6 to 8 hours for herbs and like leafy greens. So we'll see how long that takes. I think I'm gonna probably start it at 125 and then kind of just see what I need to do, if I need to adjust that temperature or not. But yeah, it's a really easy way to preserve it, and I'm gonna be saving it so that I can put it into soups, into chili, maybe even on top of pizzas. We only ever plant one Swiss chard plant a year because we get so much. Every time you pick a leaf, it's like 2 more leaves grow. I harvested a lot today because there was a lot of new growth. So I'm hoping that I actually have enough room to do some other things, because I want to also do kale chips for my kids and some more basil. My basil was going to go to seed, so I had to take off the heads of it. And I mean, we use basil in absolutely everything, so I really want to make sure that I can save as much basil as possible. This is a lot too, but it does get super wet. So I'm gonna get that to dry. I'm gonna get some trays ready. Just a tip for dehydrating, you're gonna wanna make sure that you're picking your veggies routinely, because you're not going to be able to do what you do with canning, where you have like 100 tomatoes at a time. There's just not enough room in a dehydrator, and I have a pretty good sized dehydrator, so unless you're buying like a mass production dehydrator, you're really gonna need to just, you know, make sure you're picking enough veggies every single day that you can, you know, use your racks wisely and basically not have food sitting around all day long for several days in a row. Just gonna start spreading them out. And then I'll definitely routinely check on these so that if I see, you know what, I need to spread some of these pieces out even more, that I can do that. Just to speed up the time it takes to do all the dehydrating. I can probably put some of these closer together too, because they are going to significantly shrink. So they might be nearly touching right now, but when they're done, they'll be very spread apart. I'm also on this rack going to add the basil on because I do need to save some space. I don't want to be doing this well into the night. I might also start tomatoes overnight. So probably gonna have to end up doing that because I did promise my kids kale chips. This is just kind of what it looks like. Pretty neat. Alright, so I'm gonna definitely make some kale chips too. Kids have been begging for these. The kids have been begging for these because they've been watching our kale plants go like crazy. We put them in smoothies most of the time, but this is the other great snack that we do with them. So I have only one dehydrator rack left and I have about a dozen cherry tomatoes. So I think I can put them all on here and then that's gonna be it for my dehydrator today and I can get that started. And then the real fun starts, canning some peach jam. Something like tomatoes, you absolutely have to cut before you put into your dehydrator or else it's never gonna dry. So 12 cherry tomatoes was just short of filling this entire tray, which is great. We'll start our stockpile of these. I think I'm gonna do some reorganization because the tomatoes might drip. So I'm gonna put these kale chips here up top. Well, the tomatoes might leak, so I do want to put those ones on the bottom for now so they don't leak all over the greens and the herbs. But I just really love this method because I can walk away from it for hours and when I come back I've got preserved food for good for a year in a sealed tight jar. And I also have Mylar bags with oxygen. I might use those, but my goal is to just start really preserving next year's food so that every single year I'm just replenishing what we have. The hardest part for me for canning is getting my water to be boiling. I, again, am using this very tiny little stove and I need to have boiling water in here to make peach jam. So it takes forever to get water to boil on there in that large of a tub. So what I'm trying to do today is to boil water in a kettle, fill this tub up while I'm getting other things going, and then when I finally put it on here, it'll have had boiling water for, you know, 5 or 6 times. So hopefully it's warm enough that it gets to a boil quicker because it really took me like probably 2 hours last time to get boiling water and it was terrible. So I just want to hopefully find this solution because this is what I'm working with this year. Hopefully we get an outdoor kitchen next year where I can just use fire, but don't have that option right now. So we're gonna do the best we can with what we have. Alright guys, thanks for watching. I'm just taking a breather outside. I'm so hot canning all day. But got a lot done, got a lot dehydrated, some is still dehydrating, and got about 10 jars of peach jam done. So I would say that was a pretty productive day. If you're new to the channel, definitely subscribe, like this video, and I will see you in the next one.